guys. So I promised that I would be hooking up the watering system for my latest GreenStalk today, and that I would show you how I do that step by step. I've already done this with 7 other GreenStalks. It was a really simple process, but again, I do have some experience with setting up drip systems. I used a drip system for my garden in California, but I still think this is a simple process, even if you're not familiar. So I guess I'll start out showing you what each kit comes with when you order. I ordered this from GreenStalk. The day they announced it, I ordered 8 of them because I knew that this was going to be super helpful. It comes with, every kit comes with instructions, which I haven't opened because it's straightforward enough. You'll get 2 pieces of tubing. They're, I don't know, about 4 feet long. Now this is 5/8 inch tubing. 5/8 is the outer, no, I think it's the inner diameter. I'll have to double check on that. And both of these pieces of tubing came with nothing on it. I just happened to already install one of the fitting. This is the fitting that goes at the top, and the water comes out this little spout. You can adjust the pressure with this little green thing. And the only reason I'm not taking it off, because once you put these things on with drip system stuff, you can't get it back off. So I'm not going to even try because I don't want to damage. But basically, and I'll show you with the other fittings how they go on, but twist. These are really good ones compared to other things I've seen. So you basically you take your tubing and you press it on, and you're going to need some grippy gloves. Really help, because it takes a lot of hand strength and chest strength sometimes just to cram these things on. And then you twist it down the opposite direction that you expect. It doesn't go righty-tighty, it goes lefty-loosey, but whatever. It took me a while to figure that out as I was doing these. So that's how you tighten it down, and that's just extra security that keeps it on the tube. So that's set up already. The other things it comes with in a kit for one watering system is to water 1 GreenStalk. You'll get a T connector. This is actually useful if you're going to connect more than one eventually. Like say you already had a couple and then you decide, oh, I'm going to add 1 more GreenStalk. You order a kit, it comes with this thing so that you can connect it on your existing system, which is really necessary. You also get an elbow connector, which connects, here's the tube that goes down the back side of the GreenStalk, and then down at the bottom you would attach this elbow, and then maybe a shorter length, depending on how far your water line is from your GreenStalk. Another length would branch off of here, and I'm going to show you as I do that. Anyway, here's an elbow, and then you have 1 more elbow looking thing, but this one is different. This has the kind that connects to just this kind of black tubing, but it also has a hose connector on the other end. This is where you're going to actually attach it to your water faucet or your hose or whatever, or your timer. And then it comes with 8 of these little clips, which go on the edges of the pockets all the way down, which is really helpful. It keeps the tubing straight. It keeps it from moving around. The downside, though, to these watering systems is you can't just easily twirl your GreenStalks anymore. If you need to, some people will turn them like once a day to make sure that all sides are getting enough light. Some people will turn them because it's easier to harvest by spinning it than by walking around all the sides. So that is a downside. You're going to have to disconnect this whole tube anytime you want to spin your GreenStalk around. And where I'm at, I'm not that worried, because the sun kind of in the summer here, days are really long here in the summer. The sun kind of like almost makes like a U shape. And even though this is the north side of my house, right now this is about as far as the shade from the house usually goes. So and then it kind of goes around, even towards the middle of June, it'll really go around, and I'm getting sun on all sides anyway. But we'll see how the season goes. I might end up needing to turn them anyway. So anyway, we have 8 of these clips. No, 7. Yeah, 7, because the leaf tower, which is the one with the shorter pockets, has 7 levels. The original, which I don't know if you can see, there's taller pockets back there, that only has 5 levels, but I'm pretty sure the kit comes with 7 of these no matter what. And so that's, I'll put these back in the bag. And then the last piece, this is the last thing, it comes with a nice lid, and it has a notch where your tubing comes out the top of the GreenStalk here, and this just fits over it. So keeps it, the lid is great because it keeps, for one thing, it keeps this little water spout kind of in place, but it also keeps things like leaves and other junk blowing into the reservoir, which could then clog the tube, which goes all the way down the levels. And you definitely don't want it to clog up. That would be bad. So then there are some things that you're gonna need that don't come with the kit. Depending on what your setup's gonna be. I knew that I would have, 8 GreenStalks, and I was gonna go all the way, the faucet's over behind the camera. I was gonna go all the way around, across the deck, and down all the way to the other side. So obviously this little, these little lengths of tubing that they send as an extra was not gonna cut it for me. So I went to Lowe's, and in their drip system sprinkler aisle, you can buy a whole big, it wasn't even that expensive. I wish I remembered how much, but it wasn't that bad. This is like 100 feet, which I will definitely use in other parts of my garden. So it's not gonna go to waste, but you have to make sure it matches the same size as the tubing that you got from the GreenStalk, because then it will match the fittings that you got from GreenStalk as well. So I'm gonna put that down. I don't need this today because I already have my system set up, and I'm just gonna cut into it and like attach this other GreenStalk. And then also, if you want to water automatically, you're gonna need a timer. This one happens to be a dual timer. I'm using a single timer on this one because I only have one main line coming off of that. But these are great. This is my favorite kind of timer. And it's by Orbit, I believe. I have singles. I have one that's 3 of the, 3 lines. This part doesn't come with it, but it just helps when you need some extra length from the faucet. But this is so easy to set. Here's the off position. Let's pretend this is a single timer for now. You move to set clock. You just set whatever the current time is. Start time is what time you want your water to go off every day. How long you want it to water every day. How often, like if you want it every day, every 3 days, you can do twice a day, possibly even, let me see, I can do, I can do every 7 days is the max, or I can do every 6 hours if I really need to water a lot, or I can do every 12 hours, and then it goes up 1 day, 2 day, 3 day, 3, 7, and then it goes back to off. And then so once you've set all of these things, you put it on auto, and it's going to come on at the time you want and do the watering for you. I have mine for these set up right now at like 5 in the morning. And so I tend to do it early in the morning or in the middle of the night. So you need one of these. You can still use this watering system even if you're not going to have a timer. You would just need to go out and manually turn on your faucet whenever you want to water. And that's still an advantage if you have more than one GreenStalk. I would say if you have 3 minimum, you're probably going to want some kind of setup like this. Otherwise, you're going to have, on really hot days, you're going to have to go out there and manually, by hand, fill these reservoirs maybe up to twice a day, depending on how hot and dry it is. It's just a lot easier, to turn on the faucet and all of them get watered at once. Or, of course, even easier than that, to use a timer where you don't even have to think about it at all. It just works. The only time you need to make adjustments maybe is as the summer gets hotter, you might want to increase how frequently you're watering. So there's that. And I'm just, like I said, I already have one of those set up. You also need a good pair of sturdy scissors, or better than that would be a good pair of garden shears for cutting this tubing, which is pretty stiff and not that easy to get through. I can manage with these scissors. They're kind of some kind of garden scissors, but the gardening shears are way easier. I just can't find mine, so I will make do with this. All right, so I'm going to show you, this is the GreenStalk I'm going to be attaching today. I'm going to go around, show you where I already have the water. So here's one that's already hooked up. You see this long line of tubing that goes all the way around and behind each of my GreenStalks, and then up to the top of each one. Here's the T I mentioned when you want to cut into the main line, and then this branches off. And then actually on this one I also have an elbow because I needed a little bit of, I couldn't just hook it directly to this. I needed a little bit of extra length, and that's why GreenStalk sends you that extra tubing. So you might have, you know, a few feet. Actually, I am gonna have to do a couple of feet of this kind of setup because that GreenStalk is on the other side of the bench. And so then just, you can see these little clips where it runs every pocket. And you may not actually need to use one on every single pocket. I am for now because the tubing's pretty stiff, and if it's bent, it's easier to keep it in place with more clips. So there's that. And so here is the GreenStalk I'm hooking up. Here's my line already. I have it kind of stapled down. It's got, there we go. So I'm gonna cut in here at some point. There's the GreenStalk. I'm gonna cut in around here and put a T, and then I'm gonna take some of that extra tubing and run it up to where, down there, where with an elbow, and then the tube with the hose on the end, or the nozzle on the end, will go up the length of the GreenStalk. All right, so I've got my extra tubing. I've got my scissors and my bag of fittings and clips. So I don't know if you can see, but this is gonna start here and it's gonna work its way down the back. And so what I need first is clips. And all you do is you just snap it on the little pocket like that. And then you attach your GreenStalk or your hose tubing where the nozzle aims into the reservoir. And then I'm just gonna do more fittings, and clips, whatever these are called. All right, let's give a little spin here. Clip. First done tubing. It helps to have these in this. And not doing great. I think this one needs to go on this pocket. You just kind of need to adjust them as you go so they're more or less in a straight line. And this one doesn't want to cooperate. I didn't have this much trouble with the other ones. And then the next pocket. Anyway, so there's all the clips holding it in a straight line down to the bottom, but I'm going to unclip it because I need to be able to put some fittings on the bottom. It's easier if it's not all the way down there on the ground. So I'm just going to unconnect it here, bring this around, and I'm going to find the elbow that has not a hose end. So the first time I did this, I actually didn't notice that there were two different types. So see, there's a difference. This is for your hose end where you attach the faucet. This is what I want, so I can bring a line out here and attach it to the main line that's already hooked up. And actually, to make it easier on myself, I'm gonna go ahead and hook this up first and then this and run it under the bench. So all you do is just kind of wiggle it on there. Like I said, if you have those gloves with like the rubbery, grippy kind of palms, that helps a lot with any drip system. Let me make sure this is twisted open all the way, actually. There we go. You just want to get on there as far as you can go, and then you're going to turn left to kind of anchor it, reinforce it in place. So this is the line that's going under. I'll just put it this way. Nope. All right. And now I'm going to hook the other end. Kind of want to aim it so that this will be perpendicular at right angle, right? And twist. Now I'm going to wiggle it around so that it is now poking out under the bench. And now I can clip these back onto the pockets. All right, here we are. This is the end coming out from the bottom of the GreenStalk. I am going to need my scissors. Hope the dog hasn't been using the bathroom on this grass. And I might actually want to do, you know, I don't want to stretch this line all the way up here to meet the T. I want it to, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put another elbow here to aim down, and then I'll put the T down here, and that way it's not going to be pulling this line up above the ground level. So let me make sure. Oh, shoot, I don't have an elbow. I think. Let me go see if I have some in my existing kit. That's the downside. It only comes with so many of these fittings. So let me go check what I have in my watering stuff. Okay, I managed to find what I needed. I'm actually kind of glad this happened because now I can tell you about how you can, if the kit that comes from GreenStalk doesn't have everything you need, you can actually go to the hardware store in the drip system aisle and find something that will work. So what I needed was another elbow. Let me just open this and show you what those look like. This brand is Rain Drip. I think Lowe's sells one brand of this kind of stuff, and Home Depot sells another brand, but they generally seem to be interchangeable. So I am going to use my scissors here. This is where I know about where I want the elbow to happen. So I'm going to cut this tubing right here, like that. And then let me just show you, I don't know if you can see, here's an elbow. This one, unlike the GreenStalk ones, doesn't have the twisty thing. You just have to push it on there as far as you can go. And then here's one that's same kind of thing, but this is a T, and this you'll find at the hardware store too. So, and I have my grippy gloves because I know that from experience that these are harder to get on than the ones that came with the GreenStalk. So I'm gonna go ahead and put those on. All right, elbow, gonna go like this. You see? I'm just gonna shove it on there. Ugh. That was easier than I expected. Okay, so now I'm gonna have it cut another length of tube that goes down and meets this one. I think before I cut that, I'm gonna go ahead and cut into this main line. This water's gonna come out. Yep, there's the water. Nice. Like I said, garden shears are better for this. There we go. Water. Okay, let that drain out. And now I've got my T that came with the GreenStalk kit. I'm gonna make sure these are all fully open. I'm just gonna put it on there. And then I actually want to cut a little bit more to make up for the space the T adds. And then twist these down to make them extra secure. Now I just need the little length of tube to connect the two. So I need about from here to here. Not that much. And shove it on there. There's one. It's in the bottom. Put the staple back. And that's it. It's done. All right, so let me just show you what I did here from a little closer of an angle. There is the bottom of the GreenStalk with that tubing coming down and meeting the other tubing with the elbow. Then we have the elbow from the hardware store that I installed here to make this right angle again. And then down we come to the T that came with the kit to meet the main line that I already installed a couple weeks ago. And so from there, you just, if you were done and you had all your GreenStalks connected that you want, the last step is to run it to your faucet where you may or may not have a timer. Okay, so it comes around here. I had to do a little funny thing with the, because the hose connector that comes with GreenStalk, the GreenStalk kit is an elbow. And so this tubing wanted to go this way, but the tubing that was coming to meet it wanted to go this way. And so my solution was just put an elbow here so they could meet up. And then here's the timer. Focus. Same kind of timer I showed before, but this is just for a single line. And I have it hooked up to a little connector so I can have a hose coming off the same thing. And then I have the faucet, which when you're running water on a timer, you need to leave this on all the time on full blast. All right, so, oh yeah, I bought some basil today. Isn't it pretty? All right, so here is the top. You'll want to adjust if it got a little twisted during, while you were attaching. Sometimes that happens. And then this green thing turns the water on or off. I'm gonna set it all the way off for now. And then I'm gonna go around and set all of these to all the way off. And then I'm gonna turn on the water manually, and one by one, starting at the very last one, where the water pressure would be the weakest. I'll turn that on a little bit, and then, actually no, I'm gonna start this one and just turn it on a little bit and just try to match the amount of water coming out on each one and make sure that the last one is getting enough water. So I'm gonna go through and turn those off now. I'm also gonna take off the lids because I need to be able to see what the water is doing. So turn that off. Oh, by the way, since I'm here, here's an update on the spiral GreenStalk I planted. The yellow ones are definitely coming in, and you can see that spiral that goes up and around. White ones on the top layer, and then we have the purple ones starting to come in next to the yellows. And then this other row is like a mix of different pinks, and it's a little behind, but eventually all of these will be in bloom and it'll be really, really pretty. I can't wait to see everything blooming at once. All right, back over here to the hose bib. Oh, stink bugs. We have these. Do you see these? Oh, these were not in California, but what is with my camera? I'm not wanting to focus today. They are everywhere in the summer, especially in August. It was like the house was covered with them. Apparently that's what they do. I accidentally squished one of these in the house a while back. It was on my blanket on my chair and I didn't realize it. And I went to adjust my blanket, and then suddenly I was smelling cilantro, which I was like, I'm in the family room. Why am I all of a sudden smelling cilantro? Apparently that's what stink bugs smell like. I looked it up on Google, and I don't know why they call them stinky, because I love the smell of cilantro. So it's better than, I don't know, could have been a lot worse. I'm glad. Okay, so my timer has a manual option, which is exactly, you need this for times like this if you want to do an extra watering between the schedule. But mostly I use this if I need to test the line and make sure everything's running, that the pressure's okay. So when I hit manual, it's going to automatically set it to run for 10 minutes. You'll hear a thunk when it goes on. we go. Now I'm gonna go and check the pressure on each GreenStalk. All right, we'll start with this one and turn it on just a tiny bit. I really need to adjust this. Ugh, wasp. All right. Now it's just barely turned it. Maybe this angle so you can see. If I were to open it fully, just how much water comes out, which is way more than I need. And I can't do that because none of my other GreenStalks would get water if I did that. So let's go back to off. And I'm gonna open it a little bit. And I'll try and aim for that much water coming out on all the others. Which may not seem like a lot, but you can, whoa. You can always just run your water longer. It's actually, once you do this, what you do is a little bit down. Okay. So once you have them all going with the pressure that you want, what I would do is shut it off completely, and then, you know, wait a little bit, come back out. And then you turn your water on again, and then you can time it to see how long it takes for water to come all the way down and out of this drain tube at the bottom. That's kind of the goal when you're watering. Even when you're watering manually, you water until water comes out the bottom drain tube. And it takes more water than you might expect. And then since you're timing it, then you know exactly how long you need to run your water timer every time. And this one. All right, so that's it. It's all done. I guess that's it for today. I'm got some more transplants I bought today. I got garlic chives, I got strawberry mint, and I got some purple basil. So I'm gonna get those planted and see what else is on my to-do list. See you later.